Hey everyone, I'm Susan Nutterwitz with Let'sFeelExcellent.com or the YouTube channel by the same name. And what I want to do is start a series of videos with the most popular limitations and excuses that people use to stay on the standard American diet, the SAD diet, rather than going to a more nutritious diet, using food rather to fuel your life of excellence. And the reason I want to do this is because, you know, when people start coming to me with symptoms and they say, you know, I've been to everybody and I hope you can help me because my life is really limited. There's this stuff I want to do, or there's this stuff I wanted to do, and I cannot do it anymore because of things that are going on in my body. And I say, okay, yeah, we're going to do that, and I have a 5-pinnacle system to help you with that. And one of the pinnacles is diet. We're going to have to change your diet if you want to change the way your tissues are responding in your life, or these symptoms that you're having. And people go, oh no, I'm never going to do that. And these are the excuses why. Number one, hands down, is I can't afford it. And this is crazy. So I'm gonna let you know not only how you can afford it, but how you can actually save money on this kind of way of eating and this lifestyle once you do it. Okay, so first of all, there's plenty of people that have done it, and I myself have been in a student kind of situation in my life, you know, when I was learning all this stuff for you, and there's been various times in my life when I've been more of a student and not had so much income. And so I haven't had so much money for food, and I've done it all the time. And other people have done it too. So how can they do it, and what are some ways that they do it? Well, for one thing, there is a way to do it in an expensive way, and there's ways to do it that are cheaper than your regular way of eating. I mean, let's take a look at this. Your meat, dairy, processed foods, all of those kinds of foods are wicked expensive. Like, they're not? They are. So that alone doesn't really justify not affording it, because we're talking about produce, and we're talking about just eating the produce. And even if you were saying, well, you know, I got to eat organic produce, well, you might not want to at first, because, you know, your body is going, all that produce is going to hit whatever's in there. It's going to hit the limitations that your cells have, and you're going to start doing what is known as detoxing. And so we don't really want to encourage feeling run down or ill. You know, some of us want to detox at a slower rate. So you might not want to totally put all of the, you might not want to go off the deep end and do organic right away. Dave, the raw food trucker that lost over 400 pounds and saved his life from cancer, he was doing all organic juicing. You know, he just said, you just learn bits and pieces as you go. And so he learned, well, I got to juice, and it's got to be organic, fruits and vegetables only. And so he started doing this, and, you know, he was overweight by over 400 pounds. And so he started detoxing, and all of his lymph nodes underneath his arms and in his groin, everywhere, just started to swell up, and it started to explode. And so he had to do what he calls, I had to eat a little poison, which was unorganic food, unorganic fruits and vegetables. So he's a little funny like that. But maybe you don't want to totally go off the deep end. Another thing is, as you become better at this and as you start cleaning out your cells, your body is going to become really efficient. You're going to start metabolizing all of that food. You're going to start uptaking that nutrition. You know, a lot of us are malnourished on the SAD diet. And that's because that food is dehydrating and that food is not nourishing, and it clogs our organs and our cells. And so when we start eating nutritious food and we start cleaning out all our cells, then what happens is the benefit is we just become more efficient in every way in our life. And so we don't need as much food. And that's really nice, not to have to process so much food, not to have to get it, cook it, clean up after it, all that kind of stuff. It's just so easy. You get it, peel it, chew it, eat it, that's it. And, you know, so life in general just becomes much more easy. You have more time and energy for everything else. Digestion of heavy foods, especially salty, heavy, sugary foods with chemicals in them, takes a lot of energy for you. You're going to have much more energy. Your mind is going to suddenly get so much clearer. And when your mind gets clearer, more opportunities come to you, more ideas come to you. You can get a second job. You can find all kinds of ways to make more income and make more money. But don't worry about money. Now, there is, you know, a way to do it. And at first when people do it, they feel unsatisfied with this water-rich food because, you know, meat and potatoes and cooked food is really heavy, right? And it has things that appease our emotions. It appeases the creatures within us, the parasites, the fungal overgrowth, the bacterial overgrowth, the creatures that are out of control within us. And so we're eating for our emotional needs, our memories, and for things that aren't even us, really. So when we, you know, get all of that into balance, then no, we're not going to be needing these large quantities of food and so many different kinds of food. But at first, the variety is helpful. It's kind of nice. So at first, you might want to do some of that. So here's a book. I'm going to read someone's testimonial that is talking about how they have been on an 8-11 raw vegan diet, and they talk about what they eat in a given day, which is something, it's a question that is asked of raw fooders a lot. So this guy says that he eats, okay, for breakfast he ate 12 ounces of blueberries, 8 ounces of raspberries, 8 ounces of boysenberries, and 4 green baskets of strawberries. I'm sure he doesn't mean green strawberries. I'm sure he means the basket part is green. Yeah, this would be an expensive breakfast. Here in Hawaii, if I was buying that all organic especially, I don't even know if I could get it all organic, especially fresh, I bet you that would cost me at least 20 bucks. So then he goes on, and at lunch he had 6 chamoras and 4 sapotes. Even if I bought that in the farmer's market, even if I struck a deal there, that would be expensive again. So then he says for supper he had 8 pickling cucumbers, 1.5 heads of butter lettuce, and 5 pounds of tomatoes, and a couple stalks of celery. That would be an expensive day. For me, that'd be like a $60 or $70 day, and a lot of times I that's the kind of money that I spend in a week, if that. Now, sometimes you can get sales. Look for sales. And here's how I'm going to show you how to save money on this diet. So you can get sales on produce. When bananas start looking like these, a few more spots and we want to eat them. But stores don't want to sell them like this. So you can go to the store and say, hey, can I buy a case of those? And, or, can I buy those? Our local store here that normally sells these for $1.29 a pound marks them at half price when they get like this. They automatically do it. It's just a nice thing they do. A couple weeks ago at Costco, I bought yellow bananas. They had cases of them, and because they were yellow and they were going to get their spots in the next few days, they didn't want to sell them like that. So they had them marked down to 50 cents a pound. I bought 60 pounds, which is a week and a half worth of food for me. So a week and a half worth of food, I spent $30. That's cheap. I don't know on what other lifestyle or diet that I could do that on. You can find where the grocery stores buy their produce. You can look in the yellow pages for your wholesale produce provider, or you can just go to your grocery store and they'll be happy to give you that information of where they buy their produce. And you can go to the wholesale produce place. A lot of these places, they don't have a minimum. And you can just buy the produce just like the grocery store buys the produce. Buy a case of fruit and buy a couple of cases of fruit to eat during the week. Now, if you need the kind of variety that I just read in the book, then that probably would be a bit more expensive and you can't really do the wholesale option, but you might be able to do other options. Here's another one. So unless you live on either pole of the equator, you have a growing season. And during that growing season, you can go to your local farmer and they need help. And so you can trade your services if you don't have money, or you can just buy the fruit locally from them and say, hey, can I buy a case of strawberries? And you're getting ripe, preferably organic, but maybe just ripe, grown fruit. That is what you want to eat. So you're getting it at a discount. In fact, there are organizations all around the world, and you can travel all around the world. And one such organization is called WWOOFing, Willing Workers on Organic Farms. And you can go everywhere and stay for free and eat for free just by doing some work on the farm, 10 to 20 hours a week. And so then you have plenty of time to enjoy your travels or whatever you're doing there. If the option is available to you locally, you can say, well, hey, I don't need a place to stay. How about if I trade my service or trade some work for you, or just buy your local fruit? And some people just have it, fruit trees decoratively, and they don't know what to do with all this fruit. And so they'll say, sure, you can just pick it. But it's better if you ask first, not just go into people's yard and say, hey, you're not using this, and go pick it and stuff like that. So what else did I want to tell you? Oh, you know what? When you do this, you're not going to need so many health and beauty aids. All these hair things. I mean, don't look at my hair today because it's been raining all day, but and I can't get quite the lighting right and stuff like that. But you're not going to need any of these hair aids or all these shampoos and things. Simple is best, and in a lot of cases, water is good, and a bit of soap and a few things from your kitchen cabinets. The same thing with your house cleaning stuff. You're just going to need a few things from your kitchen cabinet. You're not going to need all this expensive stuff. Supplements. You're not going to need supplements. So all that expensive stuff, and especially the stuff that your friends are going to want to be selling you on the MLMs, you don't need that stuff. You just need good, clean, healthy living. That's it. period. Especially if you're doing this with the 5 pinnacle system. You're managing your state, and you've got the strength of your rest time management. You've got your movement therapy, moving your lymph through your body, and so you don't have to spend so much money and time trying to work out aches and pains. Muscle creams. Most of the people on this diet, they don't need over-the-counter medications of any kind, supplements of any kind, or these creams or lotions to put on your body to remedy anything. Your skin just glows. It just happens. You don't need any of this stuff. So you can save all kinds of money and use it for whatever enriches your life. Just focus on feeling excellent. Listen, I'll tell you, if you follow the other people that have done this, you're going to see that every single one of them did one thing, and that is they made a decision. That's what they did. Pure and simple. It wasn't, not one of them said, well, I could do that, but I don't have the money. If they didn't have the money, they parked themselves on a farm, or they found a way to feed themselves. They did it. And people with money, they probably played in the superfoods and the dried foods and the supplement foods more. I see that with more people that have money. They do more of the dehydrating and the gourmet foods. Gourmet anything is expensive. So if you're going raw gourmet and you're comparing that to cheap processed food like Simon, then there's no comparison. Gourmet, higher quality food is expensive, and you don't need all that fat. So the fat works against you. So you want to just vitalize your life with what fuels your cells, what fuels your body. So basically, you're either going to make a decision to fuel your body, to put in your gas tank what your fuel is, or to put in your gas tank what your emotions are wanting, or what your creatures downstairs are wanting in your gut. And that's basically the decision you need to make. So that's about it. So don't let cost inhibit you on your health and your life of excellence, because you're the only one that's being cheated. So if this video was helpful to you, please give me a thumbs up and share it with anybody that you feel it would be helpful to. I'm Susan Nudowitz with Let'sFeelExcellent.com, wishing you an excellent day. Aloha.